it will just build up that confidence, and then one day one of those little videos will end up on Instagram, and then boom, you're famous.
Welcome to the Invoking Muse episode 1. I'm here with Owen, I'm here with Tommy, and I'm Vaughn. Let's kick it in. Let's get on and get it going. I don't know.
Sweet.
Something like that.
Make your move.
Make
your move. Oh, yes.
Awesome.
No, that's copyrighted. I think.
Yeah, that's it. Just like, bang, copyright issue. Yeah, sick. So I've just changed the YouTube name with the capital M. I'm trying to update the banner art for Anchor. So Anchor, basically Anchor automatically streams straight to Spotify, as well as being hosted on Anchor, and it's all free. Yeah, unlimited everything. So it's like, yeah, sick. And then when we want to move to iTunes and all the rest of them, it's pretty simple. You have to go in and create a couple of accounts, and then you just link it all.
All right.
So it's
is iTunes free?
I haven't checked. Like I just did the first, like that. Yeah. That took half hour, and then I just messed around with like designing all the artwork and stuff. So I was just like,
yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, man, it's looking sick.
Well, hopefully it. Well, I thought the artwork, like Tommy already mentioned it, but the actual the mountain, I suppose that's just sort of reflected a little bit about like what we're trying to do, climb that mountain. So I was like, there's a bit of a symbolism there.
Yeah, no, it's all great, dude. Especially if you've pieced it together pretty quickly as well. The inspiration, the muse had struck.
That's it. It's more like procrastination from doing uni work.
Well, musings come in various shapes and sizes. So
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where this is going to head, but
no, it's just our normal chat we sort of have. It's not like
I'm under pressure now.
Yeah, I know, right? Just imagine millions of people.
Yeah, that's it. Millions of people are listening to our conversation.
And are we toning down the swearing? Is that, or are you going to bleep it?
Yeah. Try to cut the swearing out so I don't have to edit. I don't want to edit. Put it that way. It takes too long. So it's like if we can avoid swearing, if we swear, all good. I'll write a note down at the time stamp, and I'll go, okay, bleep that. So then I don't have to watch the entire session again.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But the idea would be, basically, I hit record. We have our chat about whatever topics we want, like normal, and then I'll top and tail it, meaning I'll cut this bit out, and then I'll cut out the end if needed, and then I'll just upload it straight onto our YouTube and straight onto Anchor, and then slap the thumbnail on it, and then I'll get you guys to help me out with little descriptions of like what we chatted about. So if you look at the first one, I put up like, because when making Anchor, you had to put up you had to put up a podcast to actually get it to register. So I was like, okay, well, I just chucked that short one up from last week, and I removed the swearing, and then I just put a little comment in there on Anchor about what it's about. So it's currently getting processed by Spotify at the moment, and they'll review it. It'll take a couple of hours up to a couple of days. Once they've reviewed it, say, yes, you're all good.
There's good content. What are you doing? You're recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, continue.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, so basically I've put it on Anchor, just our short clip, just to get registered, then it's done is now it's getting reviewed by Spotify. Spotify will take either, I think, a couple of days. Once it's done, then it said any other like podcast episode you put up on Anchor, you are going to then only take 10 minutes to get live on Spotify.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so
It's only take you 10 minutes to upload an episode live.
basically, yeah. But
Yeah.
Anchor's still a live platform. Like people can go and search your stuff in there. But Spotify and whatever else, they have to approve. Anchor's like a host for where you can do minor editing, and it's also where you can track branding, you can track monetization, like if you're making money from sponsorships or whatever, it's all encompassed in that. And then we can send it out to all the platforms that we want to put it on.
Yeah, crazy. That's cool.
Very good.
I wonder if I don't think is it built for music as well, because I know that I've paid for distribution from Distro Kid, I think it's called.
Yeah.
It's only like $20 maybe a year, for all your music and stuff, and that's how that gets. But then they do it, distribute it to iTunes as well and everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like that, but I'm not sure if you can do music on it. I know you can add, like in the options it came up, you could have added a Spotify playlist to attach, and I think you can do minor editing. I haven't messed around with it too much, but you could add music overlays and all that kind of stuff in that. It seems, but I don't know if it's somewhere where you could like specifically stream your music content directly out.
Yeah, okay.
I think it would be more about you like this, where you're chatting about your stuff, and then it's linked out to your webpage. So
Cool.
like in the Anchor and then the YouTube channel, I've basically gone and linked everyone's socials. Like I've got your Instagram, Owen, and I've got your website, Tommy, and I just put your website because it had all of your other channels already linked. So when you go into the About section on the YouTube channel, it'll have each of our names, and it just takes us to the, like, basically whatever branding you've already got out there or content you've already got out there.
That's great.
Oh.
Exciting. We'll definitely have to come up with a little bit of an intro jingle.
Yeah.
So you can whack it on the front of the videos and
100%.
stuff on YouTube.
So I reckon.
Invoking the Muse.
Well, yeah, that's it. You gotta get that, and then you gotta get those pre-recorded, like how they do the ads. Like, this is sponsored by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
So
Cool, boys.
yeah, so we're ready to rock. We just obviously do this once a week or so, and got it going up.
Good stuff. So is that the cabinet behind you? Is that the set of drawers that you've done? That you've just refurbed?
Yeah, that's the one I finished the other day. So maybe like the whole intention behind it was to have a holiday project and then eventually sell it on Facebook Marketplace. So then I could also because I wanted to make a video, so I'll make some videos on it for YouTube. Then I'll sell it. But I've also sort of grown. You
love it now.
Like, I'm starting to like it. So I'm like, maybe I just keep it.
No, dude, it is awesome. Especially, because like I wrote in the Discord, it was like, I didn't realize that in your video that you uploaded, you were making the legs for it, and they were like angled legs.
Yeah,
that's genius.
So, cheers, man. I'll That's the next video I'm going to make because it's a shorter one. So like I filmed the entire process of making the legs, designing them. I'll snip it together, and then I'll put that out next, and then following from that, I'll put out the entire cabinet, like full done thing. But like what I found was just as we sort of discussed before, building something and all the different angles just takes so long, and then going to edit it takes so long because there's so many different angles you have to cut and snip and everything. So I really want to find a new workflow for if I'm filming something like that. And
for
like
sure.
something that's going to be quicker, maybe set up just 2 camera angles and that's it. So it's just like snip, done. Not too sure. I gotta figure it out, but it's just, it's at the moment it's really time consuming. Like that 3-minute video for just that quick jigs thing, I'll give you context. It took me 4 hours to edit and it was a 3-minute video.
Yeah, man, you're preaching to the choir. I do it for the guitar videos.
Yeah.
Because I've only got my one camera. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So it's like, they need multiple cameras or just stick to one camera angle so you don't have to keep snipping everything.
Yeah. And who likes one camera
Yeah,
angle?
that's
bro?
it.
Nobody.
No one will watch it.
You have to have at least 1,000 or more different camera angles before somebody gets really into your video.
100%.
And if it isn't, like, if you can't see the wood grain on your guitar neck, like the particles, and like in the background, it's really blurry, you know?
Yep, that's it. You got to have, I can't remember what they call that, but yeah, you got to have that background is all blurred out and it's all
like
cinematic
really
as. Yeah. Yeah,
the
that's
dew on a leaf. You know, the morning dew.
Yep.
Very green and beautiful leaf. Yeah.
So I suppose
Did you get any good feedback from your video that you posted?
yeah, I did actually. Everyone said, voiceovers is the way to go. They were loving that. It's like, sick. Well, I'll stick to doing them because I used to just put captions in of like explaining what I'm doing, but obviously that's really hard to read that and watch the video at the same time. It's like reading subtitles on a movie and you have no idea what's happening.
I love them. I'm notorious for putting on subtitles. I would like them, Vaughn, so please put them in.
I think that's a good thing to continue doing if it's easy.
Adding subtitles.
Yeah.
It takes longer because you have to, each scene, you have to, like each camera shot, or whatever, you have to type out what you're doing.
Right.
But
what about
can you not get it to auto translate from your voice?
Yeah, so like if I went into YouTube side of it, like in YouTube, you can just do auto translate and create closed captions and then just edit them. That's probably the easiest way. Whereas before I was just doing it in Premiere Pro. I was actually physically writing the captions out into the video.
Right. Yeah,
probably a good idea because I mean, you're basically missing that market of all those people who are commuting on public transport that don't have their AirPods or whatever, and who really want to watch your video and don't want to disturb the other passengers.
That's very true.
So having captions.
And like if you're scrolling on, if you got it on Instagram, they don't always play the music. You just see the video.
Yeah. And it would be hard to actually then obviously get the gist of what's happening.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I'll have a look into the closed captions on YouTube and see how straightforward it is. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy. I haven't done it for a while, but once you get back into the groove of editing, I think it'll be a lot quicker.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm pretty sure at least for Instagram, there's like some sort of auto thing that you can get going.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I could always just use like Google's auto speech to text, and then just drop that in as the captions if needed, because then I could just play the actual audio overlay, and then it automatically does it. Yeah.
Cool.
So
either way, it was pretty awesome, and I love the green, love the color.
Yeah, I was like when I first painted it, because like I did a bit of research. I was like, okay, trends in today, like what's the color palette that everyone's into, and olive was one of them. Olive and and black and olive and brass. I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, okay, went in, bunnies. It's just like color wall. Just get overwhelmed. Yeah. So I picked one, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to commit. and then I put the first coat of paint on, and I was like, this looks so gross. I was just like, this is terrible.
What was this actual color name, like the specific name of it?
Olive blend.
I
Yeah.
thought it would have some really weird exotic name, but no, that's
No, that's that's as exotic as it gets. But
generic Vaughn. Come on,
yeah.
choose better next time.
But the trials and tribulations I had with this thing, like it was supposed to be a 2-day project, just casual, just have a go, and then it, like we had a series of rain, like sun showers come through. So I put the first coat of paint on, and it would literally just start spitting like little drops of rain, and it's all outside. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm by myself picking up this entire cabinet, wet paint, trying to like juggle it through the door. And then every single time I put a coat of paint on, it literally just water drops everywhere, and I have to roll over it. And I've just used a spray gun. So I'm like, oh my God, it's so annoying.
All right.
But so next project will be down in the shed. The lighting's pretty bad, but at least I won't get rained on.
No, cool stuff, man.
Yeah. So
Another cabinet.
well, yeah. I got one. I picked up another one, but I don't know how keen I am to actually get into it. Like that was a 2-day project. It took a week. Like just because I went a bit overboard on the timber frame for the stand. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah, pretty insane. But yeah, well, I'll have to see what happens.
The second one won't take that long though, because you nutted out all the difficulties on the first one.
Well,
So
yeah,
now
you'd hope so.
not to leave it out in the rain.
Well, it's perfectly sunny, and then not a cloud in the sky, and then I'm like, come on. It was just so frustrating. But yeah, anyway, so how's the business planning going there on?
Been chipping away at it. It's going. It's all right. What I've been working on is got down like the basics, the structure last week of finding my niche, looking at who I want to market to, how I want to sort of digitally market it, because I'm not going out putting up flyers around and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
not the old school stuff.
Really focusing on digital marketing, Instagram, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So this week, just sort of mapping out how I can tackle that, what sort of content I should be creating to draw in my like ideal customers, how I need to be showing up on Instagram to do that.
Yep.
So
how are you making note of all this stuff? Like when you find out, like, are you trying to emulate someone and then just kind of taking notes on what they do, or?
I've definitely been checking out other people, but I'm sort of working through a structure that Helena's, my girlfriend, has been doing for her business, and she did an online course in digital marketing. So I'm using that kind of the bones of that, applying it to mine.
Oh man!
So that sort of just takes you through those kind of layers, like who's your core kind of client, how do they think, what kind of values do they have, and then working back, and then and then going from there and like trying to figure out what kind of content would they actually enjoy seeing, and what would engage them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds. Yeah, I'd love to have a look at that. If that'd be okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I kind of need.
Yeah, I'll send it through the survey.
And I'd have absolutely no idea where to start, like writing this down, and be like, how specific do you get? Like, do I need to take a picture, standing on top of a mountain with a guitar and, have just epic backdrops all the time, or can you get away with other stuff?
I think you can definitely get away with something a little less intense.
You don't have a mountain to stand upon.
Yeah. What, Mount Black? Is that what it is in Melbourne? Mount Majuro.
Black Mountain, yeah.
Black Mountain, yeah.
I thought you were going to say Magic Mountain.
Magic Mountain. On the roller coaster.
Yeah.
We did actually play there once.
What, Magic
Yes.
Mountain?
Yeah, we played. So it was like I don't know what it was. I think it was just a fundraiser thing, but we were playing screamo music to all these like families and kids and stuff.
That is
We were
so
playing
good.
metal. Yeah, it was
Just
pretty
like hardcore metal at a family fun park. It's like- yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
intense.
a highlight. Yeah, cool.
Um,
Oh no, that sounds awesome. Does it feel like you're kind of narrowing down your niche and getting ready to be like, yo,
Definitely feel like I've narrowed down my niche, but I've realized that all the stuff that I've been putting out beforehand is not hitting the market that I want to hit.
yeah,
It's
that's a good
like-
insight.
And Helena kind of pointed it out to me yesterday. It's sort of like, at the moment, I feel like I'm putting out content that sort of shows me that, or shows people that this is what I'm doing, and it might position me as a consultant or something like that in the future. But that's not really what the goal was.
Yep.
So I've got people messaging me about like asking about cover crops and all these other little things.
really?
They're also like farmers or whatever,
That's
just
awesome.
so.
So they're all in
But I
the
really wanna
wine
be-
industry.
Well, they're already in it. They're already in the industry, and it's just people sharing knowledge, which is great.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to be getting those people interested, because that's a good community. But then also bringing in people like millennials or people in their late 20s, 30s who are interested in wine and maybe interested in viticulture, but not too clued up on what it's about.
Yeah, cool.
So
that's I suppose that's a really big insight into like what you're putting out there and the market you're hitting, because obviously you just said what you've putting out is just sort of targeting the viticulturists already, or the farmers, rather than the wine drinkers. So
yes,
is that this week's sort of goal, is to look at how do you create content for that market that you're trying to enter?
yeah. This week I've been looking at sort of kind of create your content pillars. So like, what are the main things you want to be sharing content about? So for that, I've been trying to think of like what's going to engage people in our age group who are interested in wine. What's going to want them to like follow me and look at what I'm doing. So it's still quite hard, because I think, so education around viticulture, education around wine, like the behind the scenes kind of stuff maybe, but I haven't been able to find any accounts that are sort of doing that.
Well, that's in some ways that's really good, because then you know you've got your niche there, and
Got my niche, but
you've just got to lead it.
struggling to find the ideas to like
Yeah,
nail.
You
Feels
got
like you're on the right track though.
yeah, definitely on the right track.
It feels like it. So yeah, that's what I was doing yesterday, just kind of working that out. So creating those kind of content pillars that you want to focus on, and then looking at sort of like, how are you providing like through the posts that you're putting out. So maybe the content pillar is viticulture education. That's a big one. And then how is that providing value? How is that providing connection? How is that providing meaning or whatever? So there's a few of them. So like each post has to have it has to represent one of those. Otherwise, you're just posting for no reason.
Yeah, you got to have some sort of purpose behind it.
Yeah, well, you got to. Yeah, exactly. So what is it? What is it giving the audience? Is it giving them value? Is it giving them connection?
Yeah, is it an entertainment, or is it an education, or what underlying value is behind it? I suppose.
Yeah.
But in doing that, it's good to have a structure. But why are you trying to figure it out? Especially since there's no one in your market that you're looking at, and there's no one to model off. And obviously, we know that modeling is the quickest way to get success. Just replicate how someone else has got there. So, because you're full innovative, you're creating that space. I suppose one of the things would be not getting hung up on it's not hitting one of those things at this stage. It's like,
Yeah.
you just got to get something out, continue building the audience, and as you develop the idea of how to actually hit that target and hit those milestones that you're talking about, or those pillars.
That's pretty good. I was listening to a good podcast yesterday, and it was sort of like wine influencers in the world. If I guess they call them influencers, but basically like sommeliers or wine drinkers that post bottles of wine and kind of review them and things like that.
I should have done the 2 bottles I did last night then.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
They get pretty popular. The one of the main ones, she like the biggest takeaway for her, she was just like, before she's just posting, when she started, she's just posting bottles and nice aesthetics and stuff like that. Wasn't really drawing people in.
Yep.
And she said the biggest change was just putting yourself out there and showing your personality.
Yeah.
So,
and I suppose that's what we sort of talked about last week, of just about getting out there. People want to relate to somebody. They don't want to see a product.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I need to do. And I think once I start putting myself out there and being comfortable, like showing me and what I do and why I do it, then that will start attracting more people our age group to be interested.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome. Yeah, start this afternoon. Because I've been doing that, and like they're terrible posts. They're really bad, and some of them aren't even to do with music or anything. I suppose again that's what we're talking about last week, is because my brand is basically just my name, like especially on Instagram. So it's just me doing normal things.
So how have you found it then this week? Is it been challenging? Is it?
Well, like I said, it's not challenging because it doesn't really take much time to, put the camera in front of you and
I suppose
do a little bit of a lick here and there, but they're not always gold.
Yeah, I mean, when I meant challenging, like challenging in the sense of putting yourself out there, like because I noticed that you have put out more that is like. I think one day you were like got up 5:30, had a thing, and then the next day you're like same again, but it was like slept in, sips tea. I was like, yeah, sick. It was a bit of funny, bit of humor, starting to get to know you, and I thought that was good. So how did you find doing that rather than just putting out your normal music?
Well, I suppose it is tougher in a way because it's not that polished thing. Like it's not something that I'm real proud of, but it's me, so I should be proud of just being me.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's definitely different. But yeah, and I suppose like because I've been chatting to people, and it's kind of almost reignited a few contacts in that space as well, and just being more active. Because I've also like done some research and whatever of how to like build more followers, and people just seem to go onto other people's accounts, and if you genuinely have a look through, say like I want more power metal bands to also follow me, so their followers who are following them and like their tunes can also like my tunes. So it was suggested that you go onto an account and go through their videos and obviously genuinely comment on them.
Yeah.
Some that you found really awesome, like someone's like shredding unbelievably fast, or just something really cool to do with their music, and then you leave a comment, and they usually respond to you like genuinely as well, and end up following you, and you just keep doing that. So
just creating that engagement that you want to get back.
Yeah.
So that's all I've been doing, which is good. And yeah, people are very that's why when you suggested I think you said it, Vaughn, was like, don't worry about spreading yourself over all of the social media platforms, just pick a couple and really hit them hard, or find out which ones you have the most engagement from and just drill that one. Yeah, it seems like Instagram
Yeah.
is huge for that. Like people are very like they even get back to your messages and stuff like that, like of email, and rather than cold call emails and things
Yep.
like that. I found.
Yeah, sick.
So,
So you're starting to get a bit of that connection, sort of like, meeting or just, and I think that's the thing. What you said originally is like being authentic, actually finding something you can compliment them on, or say, hey, this is really cool, or whatever. Because eventually that builds a relationship, as you sort of said, intrinsically building an audience, and then the network. Like what I found, it was cool. I realized one of my videos from years ago had a comment come through a couple of months ago, and I didn't see it, so I replied, and it was, he was like, oh, it was just a very genuine, oh, your video really helped me build the box. And I was like, oh, fantastic, man, like I'm keen to see it. So what this bloke did was he actually created a video of his little box that he made. It was awesome. It was very similar to the one I created, and he was like, yeah, sick, here it is, this is what it is. And then it just started that connection. So it was really cool. So then we were both on each other's sort of channels, commenting, building that connection, and actually just going, yeah, what you're doing is impacting on people in a positive way.
yeah, so that's all. When you can definitely like see it happening,
Yeah,
I think it will new life into what you're trying to do as well. So
yeah, that's it. So I suppose on how like how you sort of trying to connect, like putting yourself out there, like what you're talking about before, but are you sort of going to follow similar to what Tommy was doing, where he's just connecting via reaching out to those people, like you're talking about the sommeliers, and commenting on their whatever, or?
I was doing that a few weeks back, just sort of like before I put out a post, or after, like before and after, just sort of going on and checking out the people's stuff, and then just commenting. And then if you do it kind of close to when you're sending out yours, then that yours will more likely show up in their feed, in their kind of discovery page. So it's like kind of an algorithm hack, I guess. I was doing that a little bit, but then just got lazy with it. But yeah, I think that's probably, I don't know, something I need to work on.
it's super
Probably this
draining.
week. It feels time consuming, but you're not. I don't. Yeah, you probably won't build up the connections without doing that extra stuff.
Well, that's it. Like all the content creators on YouTube, whatever I see, that's basically, they said the first 3, 4, 5 years of their careers has just been commenting and replying to every single person's post that they came through on their channels, or reaching out. And now you look at these guys later, like whether they're in finance, they're in cinematography, whatever it is. Now, because they've built that connection, they've developed these partnerships across the platform with all these other creators, and now they're just sort of interviewing each other, feeding on each other. And it's like what we sort of, the purpose of us creating this podcast, but also our Discord channel, are just like creating a network where you just like-minded people trying to improve. So eventually it leads to building that sort of community of like-minded and people who push you where you want to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you're right. It does take a lot of effort and a lot of work. But I sort of say at school, I was like, anytime the kids are like, oh, all about just building up resilience to a challenge or a problem, I always put the statement in: effort equals results. If you don't put the effort, you're not going to get the result. No matter what, it doesn't matter if it's academic. It could be fitness, health, finance, whatever it is. If you don't put in the effort to begin with and consistently, you're not going to get it.
Oh, for sure. That's right. That's true. That's very true. But yeah, it sounds like pretty exciting, and like you said, Owen, you're narrowing it down, and like, yeah, it's cool.
Narrowing it down. It's difficult though. Difficult to understand what people are going to be interested in.
Yeah, I suppose it's like,
and getting the reach to the people that you want. Like, are they going to find your post to begin with is the big one.
Yeah.
Because like you can use hashtags, stuff like that in Instagram, but they don't seem to really do much. Like out of the people that see my post, maybe sometimes get 10 people seen it through a hashtag. So it's like,
So a lot of the ways when I was doing YouTube a lot years ago, to get more engagement, was I was signed up to heaps of different like Facebook groups and everything like that. I'd share my videos through there. I'd sort of do what we were talking about before, but just engaging in communities outside of yourself. And eventually it just, all these people came in to check out what I was doing. And
okay. So it's not so much trying to draw them into you, but like going to them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, rather than, exactly. Don't worry about bringing them to yourself, because that's growing naturally or organically or whatever they call it. But it's more
Force
of
it
just,
upon them.
Hey?
Force it upon the world.
It's look, put it where they are and go, hey, look, I've made this. You guys might be interested. Check it out. And
well, that's awesome, because like I've done that with all the releases and stuff for the power metal things. But when you say communities, is it? I suppose there's always got to be a host of the page, but I think I've always just asked them to, because you can't post whatever you want all the time in some
in some of them,
ones. But I think they've always had those people that filter it and then post it if it's any good. So you talking about, are there actual pages where you can just post whatever you want, just communities?
Like for example, for any of the woodwork ones I do, I just typed in on, like, Facebook was my main thing because I'm not really on Instagram. So I was like, I'd type in woodworking for beginners, and it would come up with a bunch of like channels or groups, and I'd join them all. And it would be just interesting because I'd be interested in their content anyway, because it would just come up with cool stuff on my feed. But then I'd post it, share my link out or my video out. Check out my latest video. It's about doing this. Most of the time they were not moderated, where it was just instantly straight up. But most when it was moderated, they all got approved because it was related to their field. So there would be heaps for music in the area that you're wanting to. You just got to go and find them on the different platforms.
Yeah, because I found quite a bit, but if I might have to search it in a different way.
So, well, if you've got them, but they're moderated, you just go, hey, love to share my stuff with you guys and connect. Here it is. And then they can say yeah or nay. There's no harm in putting it out to them.
Yeah, and they've usually said yay, because it's pretty epic, and who doesn't like epic stuff? But the fact that you can't really, once they've shared it, you can't come back the next month and be like, hey, can you share the same thing again, just in case different people see it in a different month. So it'd be good to find one where you can just like slip it in every few weeks,
Well, that's
keep it rotating.
A YouTube dude I watch, but he's mainly on Instagram, Beheza. He's all about finance, but he creates these. He did this thing about Instagram pages and about marketing. He's pretty interesting. He's just a young dude, and he just goes in and he sells his products because he's an e-commerce merchant. Basically, sells a product without ever touching the product, just through Shopify and drop shipping. So he's actually would go onto a page. He would usually pay a page like, hey, can you advertise my product for however many posts or for however many time duration. There was all these different things he was talking about. But it's interesting. You could do something similar to that, where it's like, hey, you find an Instagram page, and then you've developed, say, your tab course that you're creating, or you've just got a free link to your channel, or a quick little short video or something, or if you're doing a riff or something, you could message the actual page, and then they go, hey, this is our fee for publicizing your stuff on here. And then you just look at it, how much is your investment worth? How much reach are you going to get? Like, it might cost you $50, but you might get 10,000 more people that you would have never got before. And then it's maybe it's worth dropping that money to begin with, because then they come back to your channel, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to, like I said, do what Owen's been doing and really map out that side of it, like definitely the marketing side of things and what I'm actually trying to achieve. Because I'm doing stuff, but it still doesn't feel like I'm honing in on who I'm trying to reach.
Yeah.
It still feels like, here you
Sort
go.
of
I've got heaps of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Hoping
Spraying,
something sticks.
just spreading the fire.
Spray and pray.
That's it. But
Yeah.
so no, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a real common thing, like just chucking it out, making content, putting it out, and just hoping something sticks anywhere. Like, I know that's what I do with YouTube, but it's like, obviously it's still niche because it's still got your topic. Like, it's like mine's like building stuff, yours is music, Owen's wine. So you still got your areas, but it's just chucking it out on the social without any like strategic plan how you're going to target. So it sounds like the course that Owen's running through, or the structure, would really benefit you.
Yeah, I love that format of like having the questions already there. I don't hate it, but I suppose it cuts out a lot of time if you don't have to ask yourself the questions.
Yeah.
Like do work. So it's like, if the question's already kind of laid out for you and you just kind of think about them and then answer them, and then you paint this picture of who you're trying to market to or connect with, that'd be amazing.
That's exactly it.
Because at the moment they're like a faceless being in the shadows.
When they get like down to the specifics of like, what's their name, where do they live, who are they, what are their interests, what are their values?
No, I've already got those details.
But without a face.
Yeah, you've heard of Google Earth?
Yeah, okay.
I'm watching you.
So I think it comes to that book. Was it Begin with Why? Starting with Why? Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
I feel
that's what it's about. Yeah.
My why is like, I've pretty much nutted that out. So, which is a good way to start. And then it kind of like peters out. It's like, well, that's it. That's all I got from that, which is a good starting point.
Yeah, start, but now you need to progress.
Who I'm trying to connect with. It's like, it's more about me. It's still me being selfish.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the thing. I read I don't know if I read it or listened to it the other day, all about self-consciousness. It's sort of all about you being just self-conscious about you. Like, for example, what did they call it? It was like a beam of light. Imagine a beam of light over your head, and that's your little bubble. And you think everyone's looking at your bubble, but realistically everyone's just worrying about their own. So there's all these people just walking around in little like bubbles everywhere, because they're all worrying about me, rather than, like what Owen's sort of saying, worrying about the others, finding out their values, and then targeting them. So then they go, oh, that person cares about me, or they're providing value for me, so therefore I'll listen or watch or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good way of putting it. Because I suppose ultimately that's what I want to do, and I think we all kind of want to do, is just it's not even the acknowledgement of people watching your stuff. It's like, it is, showing people what you're interested in and trying to share what you've created or what you think about the world, and it comes out in those, in whatever you're trying to do. Your wine, your your building, your construction stuff, and the music. So it's pretty personal.
Yeah, and that's it, man. It's about I like for me. I see it as contribution. Like, how are you contributing? Like,
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's it.
If
That's a good one, actually. It's a good one to hold on to. Put that in the top 3 of my values.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Like, because obviously I'm from an education background, so your biggest, or most, like, I'll talk on behalf of most teachers right now, but most of us want to give, and that's where you sort of see teachers burning out like crazy because they put themselves second and put everyone else first in their careers. So they're like just trying to give the best education to somebody or best experience to somebody. So it's all about contributing, but then obviously preservation comes into it.
Well, I mean, you can't contribute if you're burnt out.
That's it. But it's this weird dichotomy at the moment with within the profession, and that mindset of like, look after yourself first, get yourself sorted, then go and contribute to the others or help them in some aspect. But I think it's really like fundamental. Like what you guys sort of address is like just talking about your key like values or why you're trying to do it and what the purpose is behind everything.
For sure. Sure. I mean, I suppose it all comes back to that anyway. Is very much a soul searching. If you analyze it to the nth degree, like you should be doing it, trying to narrow down who you're marketing to, you kind of find a lot more about yourself as well, and what you actually want to achieve.
Yeah. Is that what you found out?
I think so. Well, to a degree, found that at least. Like if I probably believe more in. I have higher values around agriculture than I do around a lot of other things. In the sense that, like, I believe in sustainable agriculture and regenerative agriculture, but I don't go out of my way to do like obviously I don't recycle and things like that, but I'm not to the extreme.
Yeah.
For those kind of values in my day-to-day life. So I was thinking about that, like how my marketing, like where do my values lie if I'm preaching sort of sustainable agriculture and sustainable wine, but am I more of acting a bit of a hypocrite if I'm not taking that elsewhere in my life?
I see what you mean.
Do you know what? Yeah, it's like, for instance, using reusable cooking things, or are you covering things in Glad wrap? Like, where's the sustainability in that? But then, I might go out and start preaching that sustainable agriculture is what we need to be doing to preserve the world. But like you got two ends of the spectrum. So
yeah,
it's definitely maybe start thinking about my own values and how high I hold them.
And I suppose in that context, like the example you sort of gave, though, it's also they're completely different contexts.
That's what I mean. Like how kind of
sustainable agriculture is like super impactful. Whereas using like one person using household products or whatever, like on the extremes, say using whatever. It's completely different to. I see it as completely different to being using like renewable whatever on a farm.
I agree, and that's what I've thought up until now, and then it's just sort of going through the process of looking at values around what I want to market and who I want to be reaching. That's kind of just got me thinking of how do the values that I have for the wine industry come across into everyday life as well, and are they like the same, or do they need to change within myself or not?
Yeah, that's a good sort of insight. I suppose it's just constantly reflecting. Are
Yeah,
they
that's it. Definition.
are they assimilated in normal society, or is it just specifically in farming? Like, can people relate to it? I suppose that's the thing
Well,
you're
yeah, well,
asking.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Possibly not.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will understand why sustainable farming is important, but not a lot of people will be going to the extremes of, monitoring what they're doing in their own life.
Well,
And they're
yeah.
in their own house.
Yeah, well, you think about like I just think about like David Attenborough. He's
Eating steak.
in the sense of no, like in the sense of
Any animals eating steak, is this?
no, David
an issue?
Attenborough, his show. Just think about the values of society. People love his shows, and
Yeah.
his documentaries, and it's all about, hey, this is damaging the earth, and you need to fix it. How many people actually act on that information? They love his show and they connect with him, and they think it's amazing. But how many people actually act on the information, and how many people would sort of like where their value is and how they hold him to a standard? So I'm not too sure. Like, but that's sort of the context I was sort of thinking.
Yeah. I agree. It's just sort of where I don't know how you rationalize it, in what context it's put in as well. So yeah, but definitely like going through the process of nutting out who you actually want to kind of invite into your community, and what values you hold and how they hold what values they're holding, and what's the crossover. It definitely helps doing the structure and like mapping everything to get to that point.
Yeah, it's less scattergun. It's more targeted.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and I think it's also something that like people are, at least for me, like a lot of people in wine, they probably don't really even think about it before buying wine. Like, how is it produced? Where was it produced? Or, what went into producing it? Whereas I think what I would like to do is be able to kind of educate people just a little bit so they have a more informed choice. So instead of just buying the bottle of wine that's $10 that they built a million bottles worth, but they also have just been tearing up the land with, pesticides, insecticides, bulk irrigation, and not putting anything back into the land. Like, giving people a little bit of knowledge about what farming could be.
Yeah.
So that they can make a better purchase rather than just going for the cheap one because it's cheap.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it can kind of also bleed over into health education there too, because if you're spending more time in knowing what you're drinking rather than, like you said, going for the cheap stuff, you're probably less likely to buy like the 3-liter goon sacks of, red, and just down that for like $15. So yeah, you'd scale up your buying of wines, and you probably wouldn't do it as much if it's costing you more.
Exactly. And I think for a lot of people, like the difference between spending $18 for, a mass produced bottle of wine and 25 for one that hasn't been mass produced and has been like done in a way that hasn't destroyed the environment to the extreme that the big producers are doing it. I think it's a small step that people will be willing to make if they had that bit of knowledge as to why they're actually paying the money. Why that extra bit is.
Yeah.
I know I would.
So,
yeah,
definitely. I mean, I'm not really hypocritical, but because I've definitely gone for the $10 bottles quite a bit since getting into wine. But
yeah,
like yesterday, seeing as we're allowed a couple of mates over, we got on it a little bit. But when I was in the shop, I bought a $15 one. So
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Big
it's not the
spender.
most expensive bottle that I've bought, but it's definitely a lot. I kind of chose because I haven't drunk in like 2 months, so I don't know whether it was subconsciously or I was just like, well, I'll spend a little bit more and get something that I haven't drunk before to try it out, to maybe find another one that I like the taste of. But I mean, these are just like micro, um,
Mm.
scalings of,
Yeah. But that's all it takes. Like, before I got into wine, the first wine I was drinking was a $6 GP and loved it. And then, like, you slowly kind of like learn and taste and learn and taste, and you kind of like, you kind of build the scale to what you're willing to pay for the quality.
Yeah.
In the end. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think like your education, like what you're trying to do, it really ties into a lot of trends that are going through at the moment. Like if you think about just stocks, like there's a whole like range of ETFs that are basically ethical.
Oh, ethical.
Yeah, ethical. So it's like, well, yeah, there's your market again. If you're looking at sustainability, sustainable practices. Like for example, I was like, okay, I was looking at a business the other day. I can't remember the name of it. The reason I didn't invest because I looked at it and it was related to Coca-Cola, and then Coca-Cola owned it, but basically there was just really unsustainable and unethical practices in that business, but it was owned by the brand. So I was like, it just turned me off from going for it.
Did you hear about the Woolworths one recently?
No.
Oh, this is really good. I heard this on Equity Mates, and they were saying that the Woolworths was like splitting their company because Woolworths owns Dan Murphy's. They also own the biggest pokey owner company. Like they own all the pokies in Australia
Like
in the RSLs.
Whatever it's called.
What's it called?
Is it? I think there's one like Aristocrats. I don't know whether they make the actual machines or whatever. But anyway, keep going with this stuff.
Okay. Anyway, well, they decided to split the two companies, like, and they're putting like Woolworths over here. They're putting Dan Murphy's and the poker machines in this one. So anyone that wants to invest in Woolworths can do that sustainably and ethically, and you're not involved in
the gambling side of it.
Oh, the cash cow that is Dan Murphy's alcohol and gambling. It is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Makes sense though. Like and Woolies has obviously seen the change in the market and gone.
And it's pretty wild of them to market and brand themselves as like the fresh food people. You know, we love health and everything, and then just like
100%.
all the booze and the gambling. So
yeah, you got to have a bit of chaos.
What is life if not?
Exactly. The Dionysian side, as Nietzsche would have put it. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, I did the same thing. Like, you can't really, I don't know how far you can get away from it, because I was looking at investing, wanting to get into the the companies that are building stuff like the systems for satellites and things, all space basically. But every company that I looked into, they also had weapons contracts. And everything, which is, like I said to you, Vaughn, it's like we'll definitely need to arm the phasers at some point, but there's got to be a lot more. So I love the more sciencey and exploration side of stuff. So yeah, I was like, maybe not yet.
Yeah, so
my boss got speaking of technology, my boss got the like internet system that's run by Tesla or Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
So you just they just ship a
router,
like a dish to you. You put it up on your roof, and then it like hooks up to all the satellites Elon's shot up into space.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So does that get all of his vineyards?
Oh, just the one winery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it come?
So I think instead of using like Telstra, that's what you're on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be cool. Because because I heard, like when I was looking at AI a while back for school, there was this really cool product. I'm pretty sure Tesla was trying to design it, or SpaceX, and it was just basically a glider that was flying around the outback, and it was just emitting like Wi-Fi. So it was just like everyone could get Wi-Fi in the middle of the outback by this glider. It's just like hovering this huge radius. I was like, that's sick.
Wow. It was very cool.
Yeah. I don't know if it happened, but that was one of the, trying to plan it at least.
That's pretty awesome. He just keeps like shooting out these ideas and then trying to build them, and then hopefully they work. Usually, like 9 times out of 10, they would have been able to engineer it and make it work. I mean, what was it? That story that everyone tells about Henry Ford or whatever, how his engineers, he had that idea of what was it, the 8-cylinder or something. I don't know much about cars, but anyway, he told his engineers that this is what I'm dreaming of.
Yeah,
and no, we can't do it. He's like, yeah, you can. Just do it.
Just do it.
And they ended up doing it. Yeah, constructing this.
Yeah, I heard that story. It was like, I'm pretty sure he got fired from one of the other companies and then decided to run his own because he didn't want to be second. So, and then he made this like beast of a car. So it's like,
oh, that was a Chrysler guy.
Yeah.
I think Honda did it too.
And Honda,
who built the motorbike engines and stuff. Nobody was having a bar of it, so he went out on his own and made this thing.
It's the same kind of similar story to how Ferrari and Lamborghini started. Like whoever started first, they were making tractors, and then whatever was like, I don't know, had a disagreement with someone, so he went and started his own brand, which ended up being Lamborghini.
Yeah, from tractor.
Well, they started out as a tractor company.
Jeez, that's you've seen.
It's a big.
That's a big jump. But you've seen the Clarkson's farm or whatever. He's got a Lambo tractor.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's pretty amazing how you never know what is going to spark like your big idea or anything. Because I mean, going back to that Honda dude, after he failed to like get his business off the ground, nobody was really wanting it. I think it might have been World War II or whatever. I'm not sure specific dates, but it ended up being that he strapped basically his engine to his push bike so he could get around quicker, and then everyone was like, dude, I kind of want one of those. And then he just started building these things, and then everybody wanted them. So then obviously it grows from that, and he started selling them, and then it becomes the motorbike and like all this stuff, and then he's got his brand. And then so it was just from him wanting to get around quicker or whatever, he just strapped it to his bike. It's pretty awesome. So you never know what. Yeah, as long as you've got these ideas and you try them out, then they might get traction at some point. So
yeah, that's it. Like just keep applying. Yeah, awesome. So I suppose then, what's the goals for the coming week?
Specifically, or just like there's a few. I've got a bit of a list that's working out pretty awesomely. I'm pretty excited, but I won't
divulge.
Unveil it here. Yeah. I'll tell you guys later. But I think it's more like I'd love to get into what you were talking about, Owen. I think basically just doing what you're doing and nutting it all out. And I love organization. Sometimes it gets to the point where it becomes procrastination. Like you can be too organized. And so you never actually do anything. But I think it's going back to what Owen was saying, is really nutting out who I'm trying to market and connect with.
Yeah, brilliant.
Same for me this week. now that I've started kind of mapping it out, I need to take it from mapping it out and actually put it into practice.
Yeah.
So I've listed kind of what I want to be doing on social media. This week, when I want to post, what I want to post, and I need to start building up my confidence around kind of getting on stories, putting my face there, and actually speaking.
Yep.
So that's a big one.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
awesome.
do that at least twice. I will do that this week
Putting out a story.
Yeah.
with me chatting.
Yeah, fantastic.
What about you, Vaughn?
Well, I'm back at work this week, so it's all hands on deck again. So it'll just be a balancing act between doing that, finishing off my master's course this week because it's the last assessment's due, and then also I want to get into editing these videos. But so it's that sort of what you're saying, Tommy, trying to prioritize and being organized enough to hit all these things. But I really want to just apply the time management techniques of like level 2 or system 2, like Stephen Covey says, which is just focusing on the longer term goals rather than getting caught up with the crisis moments, which are just like urgent matters that need to happen right now. So planning ahead, getting it done. So for example, start my uni assignment tomorrow. That's a week. Finish it off, and then do an hour or so on an edit each day, because then that's a whole day's basically work over a week. So just little things.
Stretching it out like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Just trying to manage it, just because there's going to be lots on.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, Owen, how it's basically you're in the industry working as what you want to be as well. Like, because I'm also juggling a day job, but I think going back to what you were saying about bringing your ethics and trying to spread it across your life, doing all these chats with you guys and whatever, it's also made me realize that there's things that I want to share and how to connect and like teach people as well, and things like that. You can still do it in a disjointed industry. Like, it's, even if it is separate, you can still find ways to practice and be who you want to be in all walks of your life as well. So
yeah, that's it. It's just trying to, as you sort of said, get yourself out there, get over that fear of like being judged or whatever, and connect, and finding the connections between people, because they're out there. You just got to actually reach out yourself, put yourself out there, and then
you never know.
You never know.
Have you give me some feedback around how I speak? Because I realized this week that I'm very fucking nasally. I've tried to do stories and I was like, oh my God.
See,
no one ever told me I'm so nasally.
Okay.
Crazy.
Everyone says that.
Crazy.
When I first started singing and recording me singing, same thought went through my head. And then the more you do it, the more you get used to your own voice, and you're just like, that's how I sound, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, okay.
That's
because
it.
I'm ready to start looking for like elocution lessons or whatever they help you out.
Elocution lessons and help you pronounce.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly what Tommy said. Like the first time you hear yourself on a camera or audio or anything, it's not
like, that's not me.
Exactly, it's not you. It's like, it's not the same voice you hear in your head. It's so you go, oh, that's crap. I want to do everything to fix that. But it's like, no, it's you. So the only, like, you want feedback, I'll just say, bring your energy.
Well, I tried, because I started doing stories this week, but my phone kept fucking up, so I couldn't.
Bullshit.
It wouldn't say no, legit. I wouldn't be able to save it, and then it wouldn't be able to send it. And I think that's because I'm on 5G, but there's no 5G out in the Yarra. So I did it like 3-4 times. I was like, the first time I was like, okay, I'm really flat because it's first thing in the morning. Second time I tried to bring the energy, but it looked fake. Like just sounded forced.
Yeah, right.
And then I did it like third time and I was like, all right, this actually sounds pretty good. But I was very aware that like I tried to bring the energy because I was like, I'm so nasally. No one wants to hear me. Just be like, yeah, and we're at the vineyard just looking at some vines and, grapes come along well. Like I just like that nasal sound.
Yeah. No, just keep doing it. Just push straight through that. And then the more you do it, you're not going to be as shocked with yourself as, you just get used to it.
That's it. And the more confidence you have in your voice, the more emphasis you'll have in your voice, the less you'll be nasally, as you say. Like,
you start talking from your chest.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, why am I speaking through my nose right now? Like, you gotta come from your diaphragm.
That's it. It's a confidence thing. It's like, because I've done it like in my first voiceovers for work. It was just very monotone, trying to be sort of like keep it clear. But what you find is you go, oh, this is droll, this is boring as like. So
that was my thought. I'm like, who's gonna want to listen to some like nasally sounding dude talk about vines? Like, not me.
So
it's a good point, because I know that I've moved along videos and things where it's been really like the presenter has been really too much. I don't know what it is, whether it's too high pitched, but I'm just like, I can't. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. If your content is awesome, like, I'm not going to listen to you. But your voice is nothing like that, dude.
No.
Like,
No,
I'm just
thank you.
broke. But just keep doing it.
Yeah, just keep doing your thing.
Might do some YouTube channel and see what the pros out there think.
Go for it. I'm sure there's probably heaps on there.
Yeah. Someone's probably got a mini course on it I can do.
Yeah, practice.
Just talking.
Just putting it out there.
Just do practice listening to yourself. Just record, your voice memos. Don't even record videos. Just voice memos. Like, and then
I started doing that, trying to get used to like recording myself on my phone. I just started Snapchatting my friend. Normally I just text her, and so I just started, whenever I want to chat to her, I just record myself and film it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And send it to her.
That's a good way to do it.
Man. It will just build up that confidence, and then one day one of those little videos will end up on Instagram. And then boom! You're famous.
Fantastic. All right, well, that is, I reckon, pretty good spot there.
Episode number 1.
Leave it there. Number 1 in the bag.